Hi guys, I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Together we are the Office Blokes.
Yes, we are.
Welcome to Office Blokes News. Dun-dun-dun.
Is it news or is it just like a... I think what we do, what we spoke about was doing like a topical, almost like pubcast.
I thought it was a topical cream to go with the Office Blokes swipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you swipe and then you cream.
Yeah, sometimes you can cream then swipe.
Sometimes it happens at the same time. You don't always know.
Depends how fast you're rubbing, whether you need friction or...
Jesus.
Well, we thought we'd chime in on the current Elon Musk situation, which obviously people come to us for our nuanced and
I think
factually correct.
What people should do in the comments is let us know what stories they want us to touch on to give our opinion on. We're not going to do politics or war or shit like
not
that.
bothered about politics.
General things going on in the world.
Something that might make us laugh.
Something in showbiz, maybe. I don't know.
Like you said, the what's it story would have been funny. The
Taco Bell one, but
Yeah.
we heard Donut Operator talk about it over on Patreon. If
story,
we would have found that article, that would have been a great
I'd
one.
actually seen it. So, but what I'll do is I read a lot of the news anyway. So next time I see a funny article, I'll put it forward. But if you've got any in the comments you want us to touch on, let us know.
Yeah, right. Well, this story is the fact that Disney have pulled out of all its advertising from X, formerly known as Twitter.
How long is that going to be called that?
It's
starting to do my nutting.
It's X. That is it.
Yeah.
It's just
every news report you read, it's like on X, formerly Twitter. And I'm like, we know what it is.
Yeah, it's like the artist formerly known as Prince.
It's probably one of the biggest.
biggest.
It's one of the biggest brands on the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, the Prince one was a bit different because it was
just
just
no
a single,
name,
wasn't it? So they had to.
That was over his music rights as well. He wasn't
right,
allowed to release music under the name Prince anymore because someone owned the rights to Prince in perpetuity because of a bad record deal. So it makes sense that he did that. But anyway, we digress. So Disney have pulled advertising out of the platform X for Elon Musk has been accused of supporting anti-Semitism on X, formerly known as Twitter. And obviously we all know that Disney, Walt Disney especially, absolutely loved Jewish people. Never funded the Nazi Party whatsoever. Or I said he never did. Allegedly. What do we think of it?
I seen a little bit last night when I was like scanning through social media on X, and I was trying to get some football stories, and I come across something that Elon Musk sort of like said, and I don't know why I don't subscribe to Elon Musk, so I don't know why I see his tweets, but I think he goes to everyone.
It goes, it does.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And I just saw this Reddit for a little bit, and I thought, I don't know what that's referring to. He's obviously had a spat with somebody, and I guess it was Disney, and I didn't really pay much attention to it. I didn't see what it was, but it's I'm seeing a sign there saying the Dunning-Kruger Times, which is a satirical site, saying Disney loses 23 million subscribers overnight, trying to cancel Musk. I don't know if that's true or not.
I do know they lost a lot of subscribers, because the thing is, like,
it is fake, yeah.
But him taking over Twitter and changing it to X, he said that he's doing it to protect free speech, which means that there's going to be stuff on there people don't like. There's going to be stuff, but they've started a thing called, what's it called? Is it meeting spaces or something on Twitter where people with different views all contribute to the same thing to find a general consensus of what the truth is, and it can't be edited by the staff at Twitter.
Right.
So it's like a consensus view of everyone that wants to chime in on something.
Right.
And it's like his way of trying to find the closest thing to the truth without Twitter employees saying we don't agree with that.
Can you just scroll on that article there, Dave? I know you can't see it on the screen, but if you just scroll, I just want to see if is the value attached to it.
I don't think they will.
Yeah. He's one of them. With Elon Musk, he's a powerful guy, obviously, with what they do, and the platform X has got it's powerful in itself.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are on subscribed to X. Do we know?
Do
you know, Max? Sort of thing you might know. How many people subscribe to X? How many people have accounts? Billions. In the billions, I think.
I think it's in the hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
I think it's the most used social media platform now. I think it's over Facebook and Instagram and things like that.
Right.
I know Threads had a huge amount of people sign up, but I don't think anyone uses Threads.
No, I signed up for it when it came out, sort of thing.
Because it's one button.
I didn't know
what
what was
going
to happen with Twitter at the time.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, and then I forgot even had it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It comes up on my Instagram and it'll show you half of someone's tweet on Threads, but you have to click and then it'll take you to the Threads app if you want to read the rest of it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care.
No.
But I think the thing that stuck out with me with this is Elon Musk was doing like a live panel and he was talking about this, and he was asked about what he thinks of the CEO of Disney pulling advertising for allegedly supporting anti-Semitism, and he just said, "You can go fuck yourself." And he said, like, the guy's trying to blackmail me into changing the platform by saying we'll pull out our money if you don't toe the line and do what we say. He said, that's blackmail. You can go fuck yourself. He's bought Twitter for it to be a free speech platform, and I believe he's done that. A lot of people are sceptical, but I think he has done that.
So are they pulling out because of... So, they're pulling out from what Elon Musk says, not anyone else
no,
on Twitter?
I think they're pulling out...
From what he said? Or?
I think he's allowing what some people class as hate speech on the platform.
Right, okay. So
by allowing free speech, you're allowing hate speech, and you're
allowing anyone to say their opinion. And
hate speech is one of them things where, I don't know... Is it a new thing, hate speech? I mean, because I get loads of people call me all types of things in my life.
I think it's probably labelled that these days, isn't it? Whereas in the past, it's maybe labelled something different rather than hate speech.
I think it's more to do with protected groups.
Maybe it's just called offensive language years ago, or offensive comments.
Yeah.
But now it's sort of like been ramped up to hate speech, hasn't it? So
I think it's more like a continuation of racial slurs and things like that.
You probably always had comments like that over the years. You must have done on social media, but it's just been relabelled. But it's the same thing now, yeah.
I think.
Go on, Max. Sorry.
So X is the 12th most used platform.
Wow.
Really?
Does YouTube come under that and stuff though? Because I don't class YouTube as social media. Really.
Facebook's one. How many users are on X?
666 million.
What is that?
That was in October.
Wow, I thought it'd be in the billions. What's Facebook?
3 billion.
I wonder how many active users Facebook's got.
How many active users Twitter has?
3 billion.
Or X. Oh, they're active users. Okay.
I think they're all like half of them are scammers on Facebook Marketplace, aren't they?
If you try to sell a guitar, is that what it is?
It's just all scammers.
3 billion. Jesus, that's absolutely insane.
Regardless of what people think of, Disney, which people are saying Disney's gone too far one way, and Elon Musk people reckon is the devil and all that. I couldn't care less about all that. I just love the response going, go fuck yourself.
And that's the way, I think that's the way the world's turning at the moment, where over the years we've all been sort of like brainwashed and pushed into certain agendas by certain outlets, whether it be TV outlets or whether it be media or whether it be just people in general.
Yeah.
And they push you down their way of thinking and going, oh, wouldn't you? If someone says to me, like, let's say for instance the football comes on the TV and someone says it's on Disney, I'll be like, do I have the Disney channel?
Yeah.
Right? And if I don't, how do I get it?
Do I have to subscribe?
Do I have to subscribe? And I'm going to subscribe to it to watch football.
Yeah.
And if it's anything along them lines, whichever, I don't boycott or buy products by someone being good or bad.
No.
Do you know what I mean? If I want something, I don't give a shit who's made it. I'm not asked.
Yeah.
There's nothing I'm going to buy. Me buying an iPhone ain't going to stop child labour in fucking China.
Yeah, it's like when people boycott musicians because they've got different political beliefs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I just listen to the music. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not here for you to tell me how I should think about my life. Just I listen to your song.
If people spout too much shite, then I just turn off. I'm not interested. Then you're talking just a load of shite, and I'm not interested in what you got to say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think some people can, music-wise, you can get political singers and stuff. Can't you think like people like Billy Bragg in the past?
Yeah.
And he was pretty ultra political.
Oh, there's loads of them now, isn't there? There's loads of them now.
Still bought some good shit, but still bought some good tunes out. Whether I agree with his politics or not.
That's also not masquerading as something else, though. He's not masquerading to be down the middle.
Yeah.
He's like a massive left-wing musician, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Everyone knew it, and if you listen to him, that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
I think when you do it with social media, you want people to perceive it as impartial, but then you're going to sway it behind the scenes to be one way or another.
But the thing with advertising in things like this as well, it's like sort of like pulling out of a Super Bowl commercial because you're saying I don't agree with what they're doing in the Super Bowl, so I'm not going to advertise on there. Someone else will jump in.
Yeah,
someone else is willing to pay and get on that platform because it's a platform that's going to be seen by millions and billions.
Yeah.
So it's one of them where people will just say, well, Disney doesn't jump in. I think there's a bunch of them that's jumped out, haven't they? I think IBM, Apple,
Paramount,
people like that. Where X won't give a shit. They'll just tidy it up with someone else.
Yeah.
There's always someone waiting around the corner to sort of fill that gap, fill that void.
The thing is, like, and this ties into Theo Vaughn a little bit, this whole situation, because he had Dana White on his podcast recently, and it turned out he told a story about an advertiser telling him to pull an episode because it had Robert Kennedy Jr. on the episode, and who for some reason is some divisive figure in the States.
Yeah.
And he ended up, I think Theo ended up pulling the episode, and Dana White said, "Who was it?" And it turned out it was Peloton. So we went, "Do we use Peloton in the UFC?" And it turned out they did, and he went, "Not anymore."
On your bike.
On your bike, yeah. He said all of them out of the gym by the end of today, and stuck by his word. And he said, you can't have advertisers bullying you into saying things and doing things.
Well, it goes against what everyone's thinking of, like, agendas and pushing people down that route of this is what you should believe. I have a news channel. I have a news channel on in my office all the time, just running, and I look at it all the time and just think, God, you're so full of shit. I keep it on for anything that might happen that affects us.
Yeah.
Sort of thing that we need to know, because it all stemmed back from when 9/11 happened. We didn't have a TV, so I think we couldn't see what was happening. So it was we struggled to see what was happening. So ever since then, we've had a TV in the office. Yeah. But it's you look back on what people want you to believe or how you should believe it. You've got things that have happened in the past. With the you look at now what we're going over here with the COVID inquiry, and you look at the people who lobby for was the vaccines bad, and was there even a COVID? Was there a pandemic? And these people push you down to believe whatever you want to believe.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just like, I'll make my own decision, not asked.
But
and it's the same with advertising on X. You know what I mean? I'd rather have no advertising. So what even benefiting from it?
What they're going on about, obviously, the subject matter is not what we're not saying we're on one side or the other of what the subject matter is on X.
I couldn't care less about it. It's the principle of trying to bully someone into having one opinion or another.
But they're sort of, you could say that then the advertisers are doing exactly what they don't want X to do. If X are letting certain things on their site, they're saying, well, you shouldn't do that. You should go, we want you to portray this point of view instead. That is like they're trying to bully them into doing something that they don't want to do.
You're seeing that on the news at the moment. Anyway, there's loads of people doing that same way. They're all pushing sort of like one side to another.
Yeah.
It's
if someone doesn't want to advertise them, that's fine. It's a free world. Saying we don't agree with your views and what's going on there, we're going to pull out. And that's absolutely free to do.
Does that not prove that the advertisers do actually control the narrative for a lot of mainstream stuff? Though
it happens in everything. It happens with lobbying in Parliament and in governments when people, who makes the biggest donations to the party, they get what they want.
Yeah.
Same as advertising.
Certain products have certain types of people buying it as well, and I get why certain products want their buyers getting upset by something if they were
absolutely.
If they were sort of like say with cycling, how that's had a bad thing over the years with drugs and stuff like that. There's certain advertisers won't want to be associated with them, so they'll stay clear of it completely.
But
they just will.
It makes sense. Like, I just think you can't have people dictating who, we're sponsored by whoever, and then they come in.
What do they do?
They make Hoovers.
I was going to say that. Vacuum cleaners, you mean? Because Hoover's a brand.
And they come to us and said, actually, we don't like what you just said about that. We want you to pull that. If you're relying on that to make a living, it's going to be a hard conversation to have.
Yeah,
someone like Elon Musk can turn around and be like, no, it, because he's the richest guy on earth.
Depends what your principles are, and if you how vigorously you want to stick to them, I suppose, doesn't it? Whereas Elon Musk, he doesn't have to because he's the richest man in the world, isn't he? So it doesn't. It literally
second or third, is he the richest man now? I
don't know. He's one
of the Louis Vuitton guy.
I think it goes like that constantly, doesn't it? It's all about share price.
He's up there, and so advertisers pull out of his company. It's not going to affect him in one bit. I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, Disney are tanking at the moment anyway, though.
Are they?
Yeah, like the people are pulling out of the streaming service fast because they keep sort of they keep rewriting, like they're doing with Snow White, where suddenly there's no prince because it's misogynistic for there to be a prince.
Right.
And I think people are getting a bit sick of it because these tales are as old as time. The prince and the princess stories and all that sort of stuff. And people are a bit like, come on.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but you can't have the dwarves. That type of thing.
Yeah.
Snow White and the Seven Woodsmen.
Yeah.
Sounds like a porno I watched once.
Yeah.
Woodsman. Got Woodsman.
I think people are getting sick of it all being dictated to. You go for entertainment, don't you? You don't go for it. You don't want to be taught a lesson every time you put a movie. I always think though,
when you look at platforms like X now, and you wonder like what the future holds. So, how many platforms are out there now that weren't there 20? How many things are we using now that weren't there 20 years ago?
Most of them.
And what was there 20 years ago that isn't here now? But when you look at, streaming wasn't a thing 20 years ago.
No,
don't know. You couldn't stream something, or you
Netflix used to be a DVD rental company,
yeah, exactly.
It?
It was Blockbuster, was it? Is that what it was first?
No, but Netflix was separate. It was a mail order.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can remember. I remember that. Yeah, but you got things like where, and you look at Netflix now streaming, but then you look at the old, your old cable sort of, or your satellite providers. So you'd spend £70 a month on, or whatever it may be, on satellite, and then you spend nothing on streaming. It'd all be pretty much free.
Yeah.
When streaming started.
Yeah.
But now you've got Prime, you've got Apple TV, you've got Disney Plus, you've got Discovery Plus,
Paramount Plus.
You've got all this.
There's loads, isn't there? Yeah.
Where you're all paying these little bit more, for all these little different channels.
Yeah.
Which is equating to more than what you're paying for your cable, pretty much. Yeah. When you add it up, it's like it's a crazy amount.
Yeah.
People moan about things like Netflix now. I look on Netflix sometimes and I'm thinking content shy. I fucking flick. It takes me half an hour to find something. I'm like, and then I find a film and I think, watch that. And it says in 2002, and I'm like, I'm not watching a film that's 20 years old. It's like one of them that's like it could be in there. But then you look at the amount they charge you. I don't even know what Netflix is now. Is it about £18 a month?
I don't pay that.
Not sure.
It's about £18 a month. I think it's £17.99. I think it's £17.99 a month.
You probably pay for the family package, though.
Probably, yeah. And then, but what you've got, and then you look at how much that is, so how much the BBC license is, and BBC license is lower. But everyone moans about the BBC license. Everyone moans about the BBC license. And you get some good programs on the BBC.
Like, I don't have a TV aerial and stopped using BBC iPlayer.
Is it still hanging off the wall?
No, it's taken it off now.
I took it off now.
But I cancelled my TV licence because of it. And you have to apply to not be eligible for a TV licence anymore, otherwise you can get a fine. And it was all fine. And then I accidentally just clicked on BBC iPlayer once without thinking, and then got an email saying your ability to not have a TV licence has been revoked. You need to pay now, otherwise you're getting a fine. And I was like, shit, I just pressed the iPlayer button by mistake on the remote. Yeah. So now I pay for a TV licence. But it's madness. But that's a different topic.
That's what I'm getting at with these platforms like this. And I think Musk is right by saying, go and fuck yourself.
Absolutely.
I'll make my money elsewhere. I don't need your money. You can't tell me what to do by giving me money or advertising.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? And like, we don't do the politics over here. It's a lose-lose situation. But free speech used to be a sort of talking point of more liberal, left-leaning people. And then it seems to be like right-wing people now are going on about free speech. Because people are accusing Elon Musk of being right-wing because he wants free speech on Twitter.
Yeah.
Whereas really, it's a very liberal ideal from decades ago.
Well,
I should be able to say whatever I like. That's
the way you look at it, I always try and imagine things on a small scale. So like on a big. So what you've got now, you've got platforms that are global, right? So you've got everyone in the world can look on these platforms pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Unless you live in a country where it's you're not allowed to, sort of thing. But you pretty much everyone in the world's allowed to look on these platforms. You go back 30 years ago, we used to go in the pub.
Yeah.
And you stand in the pub and go, United is shit, City is shit. You'd have like this conversation between yourself, like you do on Twitter now. Right. And it's I love the government, I hate the government, whichever way it would be. There is a virus, there isn't a virus, and people would argue that all around the pub all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was on a small scale, but because someone had a different opinion than you, didn't get them thrown out the pub.
No,
it was only when you violated the pub rules of fighting.
Yeah,
that you got thrown out.
Yeah,
right, and then you got blocked for a few days, like you do on Twitter or whatever. Yeah. You get taken off for a few days, put in the jail. And then you're allowed back out, but there it's only verbal words. You're only saying something. You're not physically hurting somebody.
Yeah.
Whereas in the pub, you put a pint pot over someone's head. And if they got aggressive.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. It was the same sort of like arguments you're having on a smaller scale, but on a larger scale now. And you're arguing sometimes with people who have no idea what they're arguing about. They just want to get into an argument.
It's just funny that Disney Plus or Disney were happy to advertise while the Taliban have got a Twitter account. But then, like, they talked about bringing back Donald Trump on Twitter, and it's like, no, you can't do that. It's like the Taliban that you're just at war with for the past 15 years have got a Twitter account.
I think basically
they're picking and choosing enemies in a very weird way, a lot of these advertisers, I think.
If they didn't agree with the way X is going, they should just say, listen, we're not going to advertise there. But to go and say, you've got to change to do this or that, I think that's where they've gone wrong. I don't think they can dictate to what X actually put on there.
I think they do, though. And I think historically they always have, and that's why they can say,
that you
do this, but finally there's someone who's going to turn around and go, no.
Yeah, it's good. Like say, otherwise it's like they're driving the agenda. Probably not just Disney, but probably.
I think they're all doing it.
Probably loads of other advertisers are probably doing the same thing, trying to get their sort of like agenda across.
But it's good. It's good for people. It's good for the Joe Public guy who's like, I'm sick of being bullied by the major corporations. I'm quite happy now to have an alternative. I'm quite happy to look at an alternative to your Disneys or your Apples or your IBMs or whoever it may be, and think, you know what? Yeah, go and fuck yourself. I'm with Elon Musk on this, and you know what? I don't need you. I'll go and I'll go and choose an alternative.
Yeah,
and it does take it away when you get in. Sometimes publicity like this is bad for the advertiser as well. I mean, look what happened.
I think this is for Disney.
The people of the world now, your regular Joe Publics are able to fight back now because they've got a platform. With the social media. So you see what happened with Bud Light, for example. The way they went about their thing, it upset a lot of people and a lot of people's thoughts, and they probably didn't think about it. While trying to sort of like satisfy the few, you're upsetting the majority.
You know that Bud Light thing, they actually sent out something like, they sent out cans with people like 250 different influencers' faces on. So like loads of influencers all got their own little set of cans. It wasn't like they released.
Do you like little sets of cans or for the big cans?
Medium. Any more than handfuls of waste. But no, it was like 250 different influencers that just got sent like a crate of their cans, and then
you get yours. I didn't get mine.
I didn't get mine either. And
Mike's got his.
People went pretty crazy about it, but really, it was like it kind of was a bit of a nothing thing, wasn't it? It was blown up massively.
I think it all is. It's like you say. It's as soon as something offends somebody, people jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah,
I see protests going on in the UK, in Manchester. When I'm in Manchester, and I'm like, well, you don't even know where that is.
Yeah,
you're protesting something in Africa, and you don't even point to it on the map.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, he's told you to come. You just
stop cobalt mining in Africa.
That's what it was, something like that.
It should matter to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's about. If it matters to you, then absolutely fine.
People need a cause to raise their flag to, and they don't need to do the research. They just need to know that the mob are into that cause as well.
Yeah.
And then I'll fit in by being into that cause.
But a lot of them are the same people that go on to the course to another course to another course.
Absolutely,
just have the same type of beliefs, don't they?
Yeah.
So
I think free speech is a good thing. Whenever free speech stops being a good thing, we're in trouble. Really, if we can't just have an open conversation about things, there's more going on.
Like I say, with Elon Musk and his platform and what he's looking to achieve and all, I don't know much. It's again, I just not read through it all, so I worry too much about it. It doesn't affect me. If X went away tomorrow,
it'd probably be net positive for the world actually, because it's just full of death and destruction, isn't it?
I use it for sport, but it's good for sport. So I think it's good for following sort of like up to date, information that you want to know about, because it's there. For example, where we go at football, I get the team sheet out on Twitter before I get out on anything.
Yeah.
And Aidan's got someone who knows inside, and he gets it from him like an hour before they release it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So it's one of them where who's right first, he released it, but he doesn't put it on social media. Because if he did, he's defeating what they're doing at the club.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like you should have to prove who you are to be on Twitter. To stop the anonymous sort of nonsense that's on there. If you ever go on a dating app, you have to prove that you are the person that's in it, so that you can't catfish people and stuff like that.
How do you prove that?
Like a picture of yourself holding up a certain amount of fingers, or like there'll be a thing.
Is that what it does?
Yeah. And it's to prove that you are the person in the pictures. And I think they should do that for things like Twitter. I know it seems controversial to say it, but it's just full of dickheads that are just saying stuff they don't mean just to wind people up.
That's what it is. It's a wind up. It's probably, I don't know what the percentage will be, but I imagine it'd be a high percentage of people just winding other people up.
Yeah. But if everyone was accountable for the things they said, and if you want to say something nasty about someone and everyone goes, I know him, that's that guy from there and he works there and he's married to that person.
That does happen though. Some people do get called out when it's a bad thing. If it's a real bad thing, people get called out for it and go like,
but when it's an anonymous picture and like an avatar and
that's shite. They're just cowards, people who hide behind stuff like that. If you're hiding behind something and sort of like trying to be, as you say, a keyboard warrior or whatever you want to be, does that make you feel better?
Show your face if you really believe what you say.
Feel better though? But at the same time, that's what we're going down a different path of what we're talking about. But with free speech and what Musk has said, but I'm one of them where an advertiser, if he drops Disney, I don't know what other brands he's got lined up, but Netflix might come in and put an advert on there, and advertise with him for a similar value. But I think sometimes when that space comes like that, I think it raises the cost of raises the value of the advertising space.
Yeah, like if Disney wanted to come back, it'd probably be double.
But I think even if someone else comes in, it's like what you might have been paying $300 million a year for. That value, that spot now is now $500 million spot.
Yeah,
because you're getting the bonus of replacing that item.
Yeah.
So that item comes in and you go, well, do you know what, you're getting premium there now. So you're going premium because you're going to be talked about for not only are you getting the advertising space, you're talked about for being the company that's replaced Disney on the platform.
Yeah, it'd be a big boost, wouldn't it, for someone else coming in now, because it'd be a big news, wouldn't it?
And then other people will say, well, don't know, they might not associate with it because if he is supporting anti-Semitism, which I don't know whether he does or not. I don't
think he does whatsoever.
It's one of them. I'm not asked. You know, it's.
I'd be very. Can you imagine? It'd be more than just Disney dropping in. There'd be global outrage.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will. You know, it's or whether these certain people on the platform who it's one of them. I just think it could be costly as well at the same time. It could cost you your business. You know, for advertising. You know, we look at loads for advertising for different things. People advertise with us, not just on air, but what we do in our regular jobs and stuff. Where you look at advertising and you're like, where's the benefit and where's the value from it? Sometimes there's no value, but you want to help. Whatever you're doing just to get your name out there.
I think we just need to take politics out of daily life and people not just need to
stop
taking it so serious. Yeah, but
what runs the world.
Every opinion you have has to now be attached to a political viewpoint. You know, if someone says something and it's like, that's a right-wing commentator or that's a lefty, like liberal, blah, blah, blah. Just people are allowed to have loads of opinions from all over the spectrum. It doesn't
be a bit like that.
You don't have to be that. You don't have to be that.
If someone come to me today and said, I don't like ginger people, right? And I'd be like, okay.
You'd probably give them a hug, wouldn't you?
I'd probably like, join the club, man. There's a massive club we go to every Wednesday.
They have meetings.
No, if they come in, I'll just be like, that's up to you. Whatever you want to do is up to you.
But I'd feel the same. I'd be like, okay.
But if they started saying you shouldn't like ginger people as well because they're ginger haired and they don't do this and they don't like the sun and you'd be like, mate, lay off.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, I don't want to talk to you now. You said enough.
Yeah,
you've done me heading.
Yeah, right. What you say. If you say certain things, you do get labelled left or right straight away. Whereas I think most people, certainly in this country anyway, I think most people are sort of like middle of the road, but I think they have views on both sides.
Possibly,
I think I've got left wing views. I think they've got some on the right as well. I think probably a bit of everything mixed in. I think
that's how it should be, though.
But if you come up and just say one thing, say right wing to someone that's left wing, I won't say someone's a lefty all the time through one comment.
No.
But some people do say, label you straight away, say, oh, he's right wing.
I shouldn't be able to know.
What else you think about.
I shouldn't be able to know how you feel about every single topic just based off one opinion you have about something.
Yeah.
It's more nuanced than that.
But again, have the balls or have the mindset just walk away.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's sort of like if you started banging on about something I didn't like, or it was like, I'd be like, don't want to know. I'd just be like, come back in a bit.
Yeah.
See you later.
And when someone starts ranting about things like that, and you just go, don't care.
That's what I normally do. It's like,
really winds people up, doesn't it?
Change the subject, and I'm not into this.
How can you not care about this that happened in a country I've only just heard of a week ago?
Start yawning.
Don't care.
If you start yawning, that pisses people off a lot. Yeah. Or just pretend to fall asleep. What did you say? Not interested.
Yeah, everyone feels like they have to have an opinion on everything nowadays, and you just don't. Just be like, I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
Exactly. If you don't know about it properly, it's like,
respect me, I'll respect you. Simple. If you're in no bed, keep away.
Well, on that note, that kind of spiraled a little bit there.
You're on Twitter, Dave. What's your Twitter name or X name?
On Twitter, I think I'm just Office Bloke Dave or something like that. You could probably just search Office Bloke Dave and I'm on there. I don't use it a lot.
Abu Dhabi does.
It might be like Bloke Office or something, or something like whatever handle was available ages ago when I did it. But I literally go on there just to like scroll horrible videos of people getting in industrial accidents and things blowing up. That's all Twitter is. It's horrific.
I use mine for football news. That's it.
Yeah.
Sports news.
I watched a lot of the like Russia-Ukraine updates on it, and once you go down that rabbit hole, it's like it's horrific. It's really just.
I don't know what's going on there. It's just sort of like you don't hear about it now. No, Israel and Palestine have kicked off. They don't know about Russia and Ukraine now.
Lots and lots of young men killing each other for 100 yards of land that way. It's like a war of attrition at this point. It's really it's sad. It's sad. Anyway, we digress. Cheers, guys.
There you go. See you on the next one.